Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this December 16th, 2025 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Shelby Walkowick, our office coordinator, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Shelby?
There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you are joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you are joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. And now I'll turn it over to Chair Fuller.
Thank you. I now call this December 16th, 2025 regular meeting to order and ask Shelby to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
The following directors are in attendance. Managing Director Matt Macdonald, Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, Director of Operations Adam Leap, Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Support.
Any changes, additions, deletions? Seeing none, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have one set of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2025, appearing on pages 3 through 13 of the packet?
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Llamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the meeting minutes from December 2nd are accepted as presented. At this point on our agenda, we would hear from our county commissioner liaison if she's with us. Indicates that she hasn't joined the call at this time. We'll move on to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Shelby will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turn between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make public comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our IT manager, Chris Quinter, will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments.
Please read about the in-person attendees.
For in-person attendees, we will start with those of you who have signed up on the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you haven't yet signed in, you are still welcome to make public comment. We will notify you when it's your turn.
All right. Mr. Quinter.
We do not have anyone in the waiting room, but we do have 3 public comments in the room with us. So first we'll hear from Dan.
Hello again.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Daniel Gaunt and I live at 6128 Werkner Road in Sylvan Township with my wife, Tony Kahn. We attended the most recent board meeting to express our concerns about the proposal to widen Werkner Road, which included lack of communication about the project with the residents and the loss of many old growth trees that line the road. As per the minutes from that meeting, Managing Director McDonald responded that when the county does a pulverization and repaving project, there is an opportunity to widen the road for safety, to protect the edges of the pavement, and also to create a safer environment for non-motorized travelers. During that meeting, there were several references made to AASHTO standards, but those appear to be guidelines from an industry association, not legally required mandates that must be followed in every pulverize and repave project. By the way, we did vote to approve the millage proposal to fix the roads, but that does not mean that we were somehow informed that our road would be widened. As for safety concerns, Werkner is not a heavily traveled road, and to the best of my knowledge, as a 30-plus year resident of the road, there have been very few accidents other than a few deer being hit in the road, which can happen on almost any road in Washtenaw County. As for protecting the edges of the road, Engineering Director Schlack spoke to Tony and me after the last meeting and said that that can also be accomplished with curbing rather than wider shoulders. We strongly urge the commission to pursue this option since the project is apparently still in the planning stages, as this could potentially save many of the trees on our road while also protecting the road edge and help to keep traffic from leaving the roadway. Finally, as for creating a safer environment for non-motorized travelers, I would suggest two things. Reduce the speed limit from 55 to 45 miles an hour between Sibley and the M52 roundabout. And second, that non-motorized travelers already have a great nearby option with the B2B trail, which has already been built and basically parallels Werkner Road and also has great access from either nearby Veterans Park or from the Timbertown Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Dan, what's your last name again, please?
Gaunt, G-A-U-N-T.
Thank you. Chris?
Okay, next we have Tony.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Tony.
My name is Tony Keim, and I live at 6128 Werkner Road with my husband, Dan Gaunt. With his permission, I would like to read a statement written by David Bloom on Facebook after he attended the last meeting virtually. He wrote this right after that meeting, and I will read it in its entirety. Today's regularly scheduled Washtenaw County Road Commission meeting saw public comments and commissioner responses on the 2026 Werkner Road resurfacing project, which runs south from M52 roundabout to Sibley Road. Werkner and Sibley Road residents spoke of preserving 100-year-old trees, wetlands, and the rural character of their neighborhood. WCRC engineers spoke of protecting infrastructure investments and of legislative mandates on millage-funded resurfacing projects. Fix the damn roads. Wider is safer, say the engineers. Cars don't leave the pavement so much, and there's room for non-motorized vehicles. WCRC's process does not favor public input. Surveyors stake, engineers plan, commissioners inform, and contractors execute. Neighbors were told they'd receive invitations to a public meeting weeks before road crews arrived. That's when they would hear, not speak, about what was about to happen to their property. This is similar to the process consumer energy used when it plowed through the same neighborhood 2 years ago to bury a new gas pipeline. Little transparency, less feedback, and no opportunity for input for those most affected. Road commissions are all about pavement. Rural townships are off the beaten path. Missing from the conversation is two facts. One, curbs also protect precious infrastructure and help keep cars on the road without widening the roadway. Non-motorized vehicles already enjoy the B2B trail, which runs parallel to Werkner Road for the entire segment in question. That was number two. I hope the WCRC will factor this in when planning this project. The reason I'm reading this is he does not live on Werkner. He lives on Sibley. There were 7 people who responded to this, all of them supporting him. Not one of those people lives on Werkner. They live elsewhere within the county and are really interested in this project. I have a feeling it's because they're afraid it's going to happen to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
And lastly, we have Lauren.
Warren or Lauren?
Lauren, L-O-R-E-N, yes, odd name. Parents had a sense of humor. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Lauren Rollman. I live at 6091 Werkner Road on the Chelsea City side of the road. I'm here on behalf of a number of neighbors who asked me to speak on their behalf. They can't attend a midday meeting. I could, so I said I would come. They're also very concerned about your plans to widen Werkner Road. Our understanding is an additional 12 feet would be added to the width of the current road, resulting in removal of old growth trees that are just in the way. Forfeiting of homeowner land and habitat on both sides, even if in the right of way, of course. likely leading to more and faster traffic on a largely rural road, and potential ecosystem impacts such as wetlands, drainage, pollinators, that sort of thing. What is equally concerning, and neighbors here have also referenced, is that homeowners along Workner Road in both Sylvan Township and Chelsea really would not have known without neighbors waking up to survey stakes in their yard one day a few weeks ago, and in preparation for that road widening. We've since been told that the public should already have known this from the millage planning process, that a public meeting will be held, but after the engineering is complete. And a project page about the widening will be on the website at a later date, even though it's not there now and survey stakes have already shown up in the yards. Now, the millage referred to the need to pulverize and pave Workner Road. We don't think that residents can reasonably be expected to know that pulverize and pave means widening and the loss of trees and land. Although repaving seems important, we can agree with that. I too voted for it. Widening seems unnecessary, especially with M52 nearby, and it's just disappointing to see survey stakes show up in a yard with no prior engagement, particularly with the neighbors for whom the stakes were showing up in their yards. It feels to us, whether true or intended, that the commission hopes to gather the information and simply inform residents rather than invite authentic feedback from people most affected, particularly along that route. It's our hope that the commission will abandon plans to widen Workner Road, instead install curbing along the sides, protect the trees, land habitat and ecosystem along that route, even if still rebuilding and repaving the road. Also, investigate whether design guidelines are legally obligatory or merely best practice, and options would be available. And then invite input from families most affected before making further decisions, particularly as it relates to widening. I thank you for the chance to speak and for your service to our county.
Thank you, Lauren.
That concludes public comment for those that are in the room. I'd like to pause just a moment for those that have just joined the meeting online. If we could just see if they have any hands raised. I believe that concludes public comment, Commissioner.
Thank you, Chris. All right. We will move on to written communications. They appear on pages 14 through 17 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to? Commissioner McCollum.
Madam Chair, it was delightful to see the various thank you communications from several residents about the work the Washtenaw County Road Commission has been doing for them, and they're very pleased with it.
Thank you. Anything else, commissioners? All right, not at this time. We will move on. This is the opportunity now for comment and follow-up to the public comment that was made today. Commissioners, do you have anything you wish to offer? Commissioner Green.
Yes. And I'm hoping that our managing director can help me with this. Is curbing a viable option as opposed to widening Wickner Road?
It depends on the topography of the land. So if the land is higher than the existing road, curbing is a great option. If it's lower, then you're just extending the impacts further onto the existing properties.
Okay, so
So it just depends on the topography of the area where the trees are. I haven't been out there. Certainly, we've said that project is under design. We're working with a consultant. We're reviewing the plans with them. We intend and have communicated that we are going to have a public information meeting once we better understand the impacts and can convey that to the property owners and anyone interested in the project.
thank you.
Of course.
Commissioner Yamas.
Could you explain why the stakes are already out? Is that for information gathering of what could be, or is that a definite?
Typically, when the surveyor goes out there, there are stakes in the ground for reference points. So when we're doing topographic surveys, the surveyors can go out there and do staking for reference points when they're picking up the topography. But also stakes is a broad term. So when you do misdig requests, oftentimes you'll see those missed dig stakes as well, where you're painting the existing utilities. And we're picking those up as well to understand what impacts we're going to have with any given project. So we want to understand not only what's on top of the visible site and below the ground as well.
Thank you.
No problem.
All set? Okay. I would just comment that I know our Director of Engineering has been in conversation with two of you. I don't know whether Lauren, if you were a part of that conversation at our last meeting off to the side, and that your concerns are being heard. Staff is indeed looking at the impact and working very diligently to minimize the impact on the surrounding areas next to where the widening will occur. Anything further, Matt?
No,
Brent?
not at this time.
No? Okay. All right. We will move on to new business. We have a consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 8, as presented? The motions are on pages 18 through 30.
So move.
Second.
Anything, commissioners, do you have questions about or wish to point out? I would just ask for one point of clarification of Shelby. The board meeting schedule that's posted online, is it the corrected schedule?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, okay. There was one date that needed to be adjusted.
Yes, that-
Commissioners, you have a corrected copy in your boxes today. Please make sure that the website reflects the correct dates. I
Okay.
didn't check.
Yes, it's been updated.
Okay, great. All right. If there's nothing further, please call the roll, Shelby.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas, Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented. Next, may I have a motion to approve the 2026 local road matching program? The motion appears on page 32 with background on pages 33 through 35.
I move that upon the recommendation of the Director of Operations and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the 2026 local road matching program.
Second.
Discussion? Discussion?
Yes.
Well, I know the chili cook-off took a lot out of everybody, but
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Fuller. I did want to obviously highlight the matching program, which reflects the approved budget for 2026. It is an increase from 2 million, which we did this past year, to 4 million. That's reflective of the additional funds we are going to be receiving for Michigan Transportation Funds next year. We thought it appropriate that we assign a portion of those increase in revenue to the local road matching program. So you'll see on your screens what the allocation was in 25 and now what the allocation is 26. Obviously, 4 million is a very large number, but when divided amongst the 20 townships, and it's not equally divided, it's apportioned based upon two factors, is the number of local road miles and population. So that's historically how we've attributed those funds. So certainly that's what we're doing moving forward with this this proposal. We're just merely doubling the amount that we put into the program in the hopes that the townships, who by and large typically overmatch us for local road investments. So we're excited to be able to offer this to the townships. In addition, for road projects, we also match, as the budget allows, for culvert and bridges 50/50. So that is essentially our local road matching program. And then we just describe on page 35 of the board packet really how it works and how the billing would take place. And ultimately, any matching program projects would culminate into a project agreement
Right.
with the township. Those are our township agreements that ultimately come to the board for approval. And usually we have a deadline of trying to get all those done prior to second quarter being complete. So I think our target is it's in
May
May
1st.
1st. May 1st.
So staff will be in communication with the township officials to discuss priorities and allocation of dollars. And the matching is a requirement because MTF dollars are being used?
That's correct. So anytime we're improving a local road, there is a match requirement of 50% has to come from some other entity. So that, in this case, typically is the townships. So that is a requirement of the Act 51 law. And then ultimately, what would happen once this is approved, we would update the township funding packets that go out every year. We would get those out to townships end of January, beginning of February. And then my plan is to host another education
Right.
day here at the Road Commission in February to invite the townships in, go over the local road program, go over any questions they may have. And then the foremen are always talking with the township elected supervisor, typically is the main point of contact as far as priorities. And then we'd work up estimates on those priorities, which then would go into an agreement.
And those township packets, I believe, are posted online, are they not? So
That's correct.
anyone can take a look at what's being proposed from our side in advance of the annual agreements being signed.
Yeah, so we will have the township pages. Each of
Mhm.
the township each of our townships has a page on our website. Our funding packet goes on there, and then any agreements that get executed get posted to the website as well. And we have previous year's packets and previous year's agreements up
Mhm.
there currently.
Mhm. So this is a big jump, as you can see on the screen, from what was available for the matching program a year ago this time as to what it is now, which is wonderful. We'll see how this goes. The townships will be asked to augment this, obviously, because it's Michigan Transportation Fund dollars, and that is a requirement. It's not something arbitrarily the Road Commission
No.
establishes. Okay. Anything, commissioners?
Just a
Commissioner Gray?
question. Yes, Mr. McDonnell, you mentioned that the allocation was a function of roads and population.
Correct.
Road miles.
Right, road miles, yes. So what do we do in the situation where there's a lot of roads, but not a lot of people?
Well, ultimately, there's two factors there. It's local road miles and population. So if you have a lot of roads, you're still going to get funding allocated because that is a factor. But if you don't have a heavily populated, more rural area, that does give a factor for those areas that are more rural than urban. With the urban areas, you may have more subdivision type roads and heavily populated. Therefore they get money. You can kind of see for the examples that I typically look to are more urban townships like Pittsfield or Ypsilanti. They're getting a good percentage of the funds because they have both population and local road miles.
Thank you.
When you have more people, you've got more people on the roads, and
Yes,
by
that's
implication, you've got to work.
how
with
historically
order.
we've done that. Yep.
Thank you.
Other
Yeah.
questions?
It
I'm
also
sorry.
mirrors kind of the Act 51 formula as well.
Right. And just as a point of reference, I believe I have the date correct. February 24th
Yes.
will be what will be called Roads 201 from 10 to noon. And the people who will be invited to that are the elected officials from the
Yep, elected
township.
township
And of
officials.
course, all the commissioners are encouraged to attend that as well if you can. Any other questions or comments on the local road matching? Adam, did you have anything you want to add? No, you're good? Okay.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gloria.
I know that you said a lot of our partners, townships, go over, but some people who may not, that have not as big as a tax base, because that's where the money comes from, property taxes, right? They don't have to spend the total amount, right? They can do a lesser amount.
They are not obligated to spend any money.
Okay. Thanks.
No
Are they
problem.
getting their marijuana checks this month?
That I don't know for the township,
Yeah, I think,
but typically the distribution to
think
road
they are.
agencies is and in December.
yeah.
Yep.
I just say that because I know that's what my township does with that money,
Okay. Yes.
or
the
has
Very
historically.
popular phrase, pop.
Yeah. Mm. Mhm. All right. There's nothing further. Shelby, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes,
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the local road matching program for 2026 is approved. We will move on to reports. Doesn't look like Caroline is with us, so we will move right directly to Commissioner Green for his report.
thank you, Madam Chair. On December 3rd, I attended the Washtenaw County Road Commission chat, and we had one attendee. And on December 10th, I attended a meeting of the County Road Association Negotiation Committee and a meeting of the County Road Association Board of Directors meeting
And where was that?
in Harbor Springs, Michigan. 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Anything else?
That concludes my report.
All right,
Thank you.
sure. Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Madam Chair. On December 9th, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec Commissioners meeting. For the border-to-border trails, engineering and permitting are in various stages for the following trail segments. Segment DAA4, which is the Delhi Metro Parks to Wagner Road, Amtrak permit review is still in process. The Dexter Connection Trail, Parker Road to City of Dexter, design work continues. 4 easements have been secured and work on the rehabilitation of the 140-year-old Bell Road Bridge has started. Project is scheduled for, well, it says fall 2025 bid and construction in 2026. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Yamas?
I also attended the 2026 Turning the Corner into 2026 Northern Michigan Road Commission Annual Conference in Harbor Springs. Quite a drive there. It was an excellent conference, and I will provide an extended report, but they had like 9 subjects that were excellent. One of my favorites was the do's and don'ts with investigative internal interviews at will or at won't, which was excellent. And had some very interesting information about the Weingarten law, which enables an employee to request someone to be with them. So that was very good.
The Weingarten Law?
Yeah, it's a labor law that allows employees
Employees or employers? Employees to,
to have a representative with them, or just another coworker stand with them when they want to talk with management.
okay.
There were how solar farm impacts your roads. That was excellent. It was given by Scott Marillet, the managing director of Lenawee County, Doug Sheffrin, the managing director of Clinton CRC, and Mark Kraft, an engineer manager in Gratiot CRC. That was excellent, and I'm sure I had a lot of questions for you, Matt, when I get done, but the ins and outs, because they've had a lot of solar farms, what they could request, what they learned from it, how to request, how to get ready for that to happen. And the other very excellent one was the Northern Michigan Ice Storm Panel discussion, because there were a lot of, that was such a horrific in the movie storm, right? The 3-day ice storm up north, and how the mistakes that were made and how long it took to clear roads or just punch through roads. And one of the interesting things is the managers put down done for a road only because that meant it could have passage, and the effect that it had on receiving FEMA dollars, because FEMA said, you said it was done. So what it created on trying to get the rest of the roads cleared off and what to do with the roads. It was an excellent, but there were so many more that I really enjoyed. There was a Road Funding 101, put on by Denise Donahue and Ed Niola. It was just an excellent conference. I got a lot of information, and I'll do a much more extensive report that'll hand in.
Worth the drive?
Worth the drive, worth the drive. I have to say, I didn't get to enjoy the sights, but it was beautiful, you know, it's
Sure.
snowed a lot. And I was just glad it didn't snow the day I left. It did in the morning, but it was done. And that concludes my
All
report.
set? Commissioner Spurs?
No report at this time.
All right. I will report that on December 3rd, I attended a Roads Plus meeting in Lansing. On December 11th, I attended the public information Zoom regarding safety improvements on Textile Road between Huron River Drive and Bunton Road in Ypsilanti Township. My compliments to Elena, the project manager, Michelle, our senior project manager of traffic and safety, and Tiffany. The three of them did a great job in facilitating that session. They addressed questions by participants with patience and simplified the language so civilians like us knew what they were talking about. On December 6th, I attended the bi-monthly Dexter Forum. On December 10th, I attended the quarterly meeting of the Southwest Washtenaw Council of Governments. And that concludes my report. We will move on to staff reports. They start on pages 36, run through page 43, turning it over to Matt.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. Any questions on the communications, operations, or WCRC Fix-It included in the board packet?
I don't see any.
All right, very good. I want to let you know, next week I'll be in on Monday, off the remainder of the week and the following week. So I'll be back on the 5th. Adam Leap, our Director of Operations, will be running point, and but I'm available via cell phone if you need anything.
Okay. I'm sure Adam can handle it.
I know he can. So with that, let's go ahead and bring up Brent in the engineering report.
Good afternoon, Brent Shellac, Director of Engineering. So I just have a few updates. I think Chris was going to bring up the web page, which we are still populating. One area, so we did put out a project announcement for our countywide resurfacing. This includes both paved and unpaved roadways that we'll be doing this next construction season. It's approximately 30 miles of paving that we'll be looking at, and these are just the mill and overlay, not our pulverization projects. Those will have a separate meeting. This is $8.2 million that we'll be spending. We gave an interview this morning with WEMU regarding this project, and the Sun-Times has published a story on this project as well. Our virtual public meeting is scheduled for January 14th at 11 a.m. For that project. And then Chris, I don't know if you can go back to the main page on our project page. So we are in the process of updating the maps. But if you, looks like it's struggling to load. There we go. So you can see this, all the tiles. This is from, I believe, the tab on, well, there we go. It's, there we go. I believe that's 25 projects, but what I wanted to show that's 26, and we're working with our GIS, Alan Squire, to populate this map. But if you go up towards the top, Chris, you can, if you scroll up or down, I don't know which way. Yeah, there's a link to our maps. And so if you click on that link, that will get you to the complete project map for 26, 27, and 28. So again, the problem with having a map is it's only the good as the day we print it, where the interactive map on the website will soon have all of these projects shown on there, and they'll be shown for the out years as well, 27 and 28. But I just wanted to show that you can get to that map. We will update this as we go along, but that interactive map will be the go-to for those that are interested in our projects. So aside from that, we have been working with communications to schedule our public meetings for 26
and for even our 27 projects. And then we're continuing to finalize 26 projects for bid. We're working through the design for some of those projects still, and even for 27 and 28 projects. So aside from that, again, I would encourage those that are interested in any project to visit our website. You can also sign up on our website to receive updates on when we make a change to any project or any notification that comes out for a project. You can sign up to receive those. So that concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Questions for Brent?
I have
Commissioner?
just one.
Yeah.
When you do a mill and overlay, I'm assuming there's no widening of the road.
Yeah, typically so we have a lot of tools to preserve our roadways, from a mill and overlay to a chip seal. And so it's all about that asset management on trying to choose the right fix at the right time. And so a mill and overlay is just there for a project that the condition of that pavement's still in fair condition, but we need to maintain that. And so we would just mill out like 1.5 inches and then put back 1.5 inches. Some roads where that rating of that road has fallen to a more poorer rating, that's where we get into more of a reconstruct or a pulverization and pave. So that's how we make those choices on whether it gets just a crack seal or a chip seal to a mill and overlay to a pulverization or even a full reconstruct.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thanks, Brent.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, Brett. All right, next we have Dan Ackerman.
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. Apologies for my less than professional attire, but we had a ugly sweater day to go along with our potluck. And unlike our managing director, he was prepared and was able to just put something over what he's wearing. And actually, I was in his office this morning and just had remembered that we had a board meeting this afternoon and was willing to go home and change. I just live in Dexter, but he said, don't worry about it. So, and I'm not going over any budget documents today, so it's probably a good thing with what I'm wearing, but.
Did you
Anyway.
win the contest?
Oh, I don't think there's a winner. We're all winners.
Oh,
So
all right. They were all really
it was
ugly.
more the chili that was where the competition was.
All right.
So, yes. So as I've shared with you, this is finance's busy season right now. And again, we've had some days off for the holidays, which we appreciate. But that does make some of our processing, our biweekly payroll and accounts payable a little more challenging. And of course, Mother Nature wanted to also contribute to our challenges. So we certainly had a lot of hours worked over Thanksgiving in particular. And we had our largest payroll of the year. So, but Tracy did an outstanding job. Tracy Balkwell handles our payroll. Outstanding job, making sure she was on top of everything. The workforce was up on their electronic timekeeping, which we appreciate. We were able to meet all of our deadlines, and accuracy is also very important to us, and so on. So got through that, got through our accounts payable, trying to just shore up everything for the year, trying to get all the invoices for 2025 in. I shared with you last time how many invoices we sent out to, in particular, to townships. We are generating even more of those. And certainly we need to receive those in order to not have an adverse impact on our budget. So we'll be working with our township partners on that. So our auditors will be here at the end of January, early February. And I've been known to maybe drive to a township office if a check happens to be ready in mid to late January. They say, we'll go ahead and mail it. I say, no, we'll go pick it up. Or Adam has been kind in the past to pick it up, or his staff. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, but we do have a significant amount of invoices that we submitted now. I know a lot of townships sometimes cancel their December meetings because of the holidays, and sometimes they need that to approve payments. So we'll see, but we'll make sure we stay on top of it as best we can and get everything processed and in for the year. So besides that, so I don't know why the State of Michigan Office of Commission Audit likes to pick our busy time to audit us for the state trunk line. We do get audited on that every year. And so they reached out in the last month or so to say, we'd like to audit you for the 2022 year. Yes, I said that right. They're typically behind as far as their auditing. I've expressed my displeasure with them on a number of occasions because I barely know what I did last week. And they're saying, you know, in January of 2022, why did you make this journal entry? It's going to take a lot of research. So, and I want to acknowledge Connie. She's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me as far as gathering the information. It's quite daunting, the types of information that they ask for and the volumes and how specific things are. But Connie was able to provide the first wave, and we have not heard back. We have not heard back from the first wave of information we provided, so they're probably processing it. But something we go through every year, we've shared with you, we get audited, you know, by Plant Moran, of course, every year for our financials. The State of Michigan Office of Commission audits us for state trunk line. We also have a workers' compensation audit, and I know there's other audits in other departments as well, but so we're trying to meet the deadlines the state has provided for us, and get that processed as well. So yeah, just a lot of things that are we're trying to take care of right now. We cut off new purchases to avoid employees purchasing things in mid to end December, and then we receive it, and then we don't receive an invoice until late January or February when our auditors are here. We need everything in and wrapped up. We're also helping our sign and signal department. They're doing their physical inventory counts. They actually completed a majority of that yesterday, so we're trying to process all of that for them. Been ordering tax forms for the year end, just the season. So doing that. I could go on, but it's just a busy time.
Checklist.
Yes, it's a busy time, and you know, we certainly can handle it. And you know, I appreciate everybody in finance because they're, you know, more than on top of things, just very impressive. And you know, we try and do all this, keeping stress levels low, and you know, just make sure we have good communication. And you know, we're doing well so far. So
What's the cutoff date, Dan, for employees to submit expense reimbursement?
good question. So we have one more check date in 2025, and we are actually asking for everything in by December 23rd.
Oh,
So normally we ask for the Wednesday prior to our check date, but obviously that's Christmas Eve, and you know, we are not working that day, so we ask for everything related to 2025 by December 23rd.
okay.
So, and certainly things will trickle through, in particular consultant invoices. A lot of times we receive those dated January for December. So we will have year-end accrual periods where we aggregate our bills between 2025 and 2026 and process those. But we're hoping as much as possible to be able to process by next Tuesday, or at least get everything to Jamie in accounts payable, and then we can process that by the 31st.
Okay.
And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
I do not see any.
Great.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dan.
Dan.
Yep, thank you.
And last up, we have Mr. Leip, our operations report.
Good afternoon, Adam Leip, Director of Operations. First off, foremost, thank you for supporting the local road program. It's a great thing we've been doing for the 13 years I've been here, and long before that. So it's nice to see it keep building to that. I just wanted to make one quick note to Gloria's question. Most townships often exceed the match anyways. And so as we kind of looked at this and we were strategizing, where do we go with the program? We know that this is attainable for most. But yeah, if anybody doesn't have the funds or doesn't have all of the funds, we'll match with and partner with them what we can and move on. No pressure really for that. But most of the townships, and as we expect this year, probably to see them exceed that match as we typically do, because some years we're in the range of $8 million, you know, but between $5 million, $8 million, some years we've been to 10 million. So depending on paving that we do really drives that the higher end of those partnerships that we do. So happy for that. I appreciate the support, and starts with our board supporting the other boards. So it works out great for us. So thank you guys for that. And then with the recent cold conditions, we kind of minimized as much as we could do outside to just emergent response, and tried to stay in heated equipment as best we could. So we did a little bit of surface maintenance when needed for potholes, but did brush mowing. And then quite frankly, the last 2 weeks, we've either been planning for and preparing and cleaning the equipment for an upcoming weather event, or responding to weather events. Even as it got pretty cold, we had some wind, so we still had to check on quite a few of the routes to make sure there's no blowing and drifting. So it kept us pretty busy. From there, the weather is going to improve a little bit over the next 2 weeks. It looks like temperature wise, might get a little wet, which is going to be kind of challenging. There's probably going to be a short window where the unpaved roads are not fun to be on. We got a plan for tomorrow. We're going to have good temperatures, so we're going to try to get out on them with the 11 graders as best we can, and then put some abrasive down as we need. But inevitably, we'll get some rain in a few days, which if we can get stuff back to limestone or gravel exposed, will help a little bit with that. But it could be a little bit of a interesting morning, probably as you get in Friday, Saturday. But we'll take it one step at a time. But the superintendent's had a pretty good plan. And we have quite a bit of equipment to help us with that. So we'll one step at a time through there. But as it warms up, it'll probably transition to some saturated roads, but nothing that I don't think we can manage and move on. But we'll be able to, maintenance wise, resume some of our forestry, so our tree trimming, brush mowing, things like that. And with the obviously rain coming at the end of the week, we certainly will have surface maintenance on the paved roads, so pothole patching to take care of. But should be minimal at the extent of what we're going to see weather-wise, and then hopefully just settles down. We'll go back into winter. But the frigid temperatures were a little challenging the past few days here. During that time, our facilities and shop team were certainly busy from the facilities group navigating HVAC, so heating and ventilation, sensor issues. So we had to override some sensors to make sure we had good enough heat in the main yard building here, or the administration building specific, and even some with our shop and parking garage here at the main yard. So working through that, I believe we found the issue. So now just waiting on the parts to arrive, and the contractor will repair those for us. And then removing snow from the parking lot and the sidewalks here at the main yard. So that kept that crew as busy as well. So while we were complaining inside, they had work to do outside. So for 3 or 4 people, that kept them pretty busy the past few weeks. And then our shop team has been doing great. We all like to have our equipment up all the time and drive the same piece of equipment every day, but sometimes that doesn't work. So they're there waiting for us to get things back up and going, but they've kept pretty busy. And as you can see by the report over the last month or so, we're in the hundreds of services that we've kind of worked through, service requests, I should say, service tickets. So we're keeping pretty busy, keep stuff on the road for us, and ironing out some of the technical glitches with the newer equipment and some of the parts we got to put back together for the older equipment. So keeping pretty busy. But that is my update, unless there are any other questions.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner
yeah.
Green.
Yes, just to say kudos to your staff. With the most recent snow, the trucks were out there. They're very visible doing their job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Great work.
Did great. Right from the top down, the superintendents down through the foreman, through the drivers. I mean, it was great. They all worked pretty good. Favorable temperatures. So it worked out good for us. Equipment, stayed together for the most part. And we have a pretty good fleet, but sometimes there's little hiccups here and there, but we did pretty good. Considering the conditions that we were given, it warms up, it cools down quickly. Is kind of hard. So we had to, I believe it was last Wednesday or Tuesday, had to really balance when do we go on the unpaved roads? Because the goal is to try to keep it dry, as we always talk about, as long as we can. It was raining while we were trying to keep the roads dry, which is hard to do, creating kind of slush and ice at the same time. So we were able to, about midday, realize that the weather was pretty much through the area. And so we went pretty hard with anybody we could get out on the unpaved roads that afternoon into that evening. And it helped us for the most part get some of these roads even back down to exposed aggregate to provide that little bit of traction, because we knew the cold was coming. So I appreciate that, but it's seriously a really good team behind the walls doing this stuff for us. So thank you. I'll let them know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Adam, the 2026 capital equipment purchase of 3 GMC 2500 trucks. I sort of averaged it out to like 57,000. That's a 2,500 truck, which is, that's pretty good. What is our discount on that? Because I know we get a discount for getting so many.
Yep, so I think on those, and I'm kind of going off the cuff here, but I think we've been getting about $4,000 per truck off. And then we usually get like $1,000 to $2,000 off per unit from another municipal discount that they give us from LaFontaine.
Because of my deal?
This is actually just LaFontaine's government pricing.
Okay.
When we do my deal, we have to wait a little bit longer. And so with the LaFontaine getting the recognizing the government pricing, we're able to pick vehicles off the lots or off the line as they're coming out. Because we've been purchasing vehicles a little bit more technology packages in them, should help us in the resale later on in its life, but also just creature comforts while we're actually working. Remote starts for people that are on call. So these 3 trucks will come with a remote start. Power mirrors, things like that, that help us when we have a foreman getting called in to go out and plow themselves or to check a road. We like to be able to get in warm vehicles and not have to scrape all the ice off. And so it makes us faster in the long run to respond. So we've started over that the last few years. So those type of things with my deal was taking us time to get those special built off the line. Whereas now they pretty much understand our package. We want a white truck. It needs to be the pro package, which what that is 1 inch bigger diameter wheels, steel wheels, and then a few, they call them upfitter switches, but essentially some switches inside the vehicle that can sometimes take our work lights,
Auxiliary.
spotlights. That's essentially what it is. And so those type of setups, we can kind of grab those really quick. That's another thing that really pushed us to the coloring of white, because they make those for contractors to just sell on a lot.
Right.
So that's what we're hopeful that we can kind of see this progression and get them a little sooner. But yeah, so specific to that, those are the foreman based trucks.
Okay.
Anything that's a 1,500 truck, that platform's anywhere from a superintendent, or if I wanted a truck,
Right.
down through engineering. We need the 3/4 tons so they can support the plows that we put on them
Right.
for the supervisors. Then those get rolled on down through the group leader, which is kind of second in line on the crew, and then inevitably out to the crew to use for day-to-day work. Trying to replace them quicker than 100,000 miles that was our goal when the budget was a little tighter. We've been able to catch up to that goal now and trying to shoot for 85, 90,000 miles to give them a little bit of a life before they go to their second, third part of their career.
Which as a truck for a regular person, that's very good, still
Yeah.
breaking it in, but for commercial, yeah.
Live a hard life.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of idle time when we're out working incidents or working on a scene or at a job. They idle because they have the lights on or they're moving spot to spot, so there's a lot of idle time. But yeah, we have some trucks that have over 240,000 miles.
Right.
So just trying to gently step that odometer back as far as we can before we send it to the group.
Right.
So people aren't getting the second, third hand-me-downs they've already had a lifetime put on them. So beneficial right now, but still a work in progress. It's going to take us the better part of a decade to maybe catch up to that.
That's pretty good though.
But we're doing great.
Yeah.
We're doing great. So
But we have a plan and that's
Yes, ma'am.
why.
yes, we do.
Yep.
Right. Well, thank you.
Anything else for Adam? Well, we're good. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah. Oh, we had?
All right. Again, a couple of reminders. January 6th is our next board meeting at 1 o'clock. Joanne McCullum is on chat December 17th. Both the 24th and the 31st chat sessions are canceled because of the proximate location to the holidays. Commissioner Smers, January 7th. I'm on call January 14th. Please mark your calendars for that February 14th Roads 201 session that will be held here, right, Matt?
February,
What did I say?
January.
No, don't come January 24th. Come February 24th, 10 to noon, and lunch will be provided for folks at that time. Updated chat schedule you got today. It does change some of the assignments, so make sure you look at that carefully. And have a safe end of 2025. See you all in 26. Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smers,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned for the year. Thank you, everybody.